Welcome to my messy playroom at my parents' house. Make your way to your yoga mat and take a full body stretch. Place your hands at heart center, and I invite you to set an intention for today's yoga practice. Flex your ankles, close your eyes, draw your chin down and back. Place a bend in your knees and step your feet towards the edge of your mat. Place your arms in the T position. Lower your knees to the right, take your gaze to the left, and then lower your knees to your left and take your gaze to the right. Windshield wipe out your hips. Commend yourself for making it to your yoga mat. Sometimes in life, it's hard to get to the mat because you're so focused on taking care of your children. Pick up your right foot, place it just above your left knee. There's always something on the to-do list. I got to clean the toys, make dinner, clean up the house, wipe up my kid's face. But the important thing is you still have to make time for you, your health, and your well-being. Lower your knees to the opposite side and pick up your left foot and place it just above your right knee. I don't know the exact saying, but have you heard, you have to fill up your cup and then pour into others. And right now, you're filling up your cup by making time for you to stretch out your body. Release the pose, stretch out the legs, take another full body stretch. Place a bend in your knees, and if you've got a yoga strap today, grab it at this time. Place it around the ball of the foot. Hug the arms into your ribs, extend the left leg long, and lift and lower the right foot towards the ceiling. Lift and lower a couple of times at your own breath's pace. What does that mean? One breath with one movement. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Next time the foot lifts, find stillness and flex the ankle. Find your edge. Notice that you have a generous bend in your knee, not to hyperextend or overstretch anything. This is a gentle, easy yoga stretch for you, a busy mom. Maybe your playroom isn't as messy as mine. It's not a competition. This is just real life. Take a pause. Extend the leg long up towards the ceiling, and then bring it towards your left ear. So as you turn your foot, don't go too far, but right at your ear. So you'll feel a stretch on your IT band. And if it feels comfortable to you, turn your head to the right or just rest it in the neutral position. Remember, this is your yoga practice, so you have to listen to your body. Breathe deeply. Breathe through this pose. Currently, I'm filming at my parents' house in their playroom. Lower your foot all the way down to your left. Breathe. Your hips will be stacked. At the time of shooting this video, baby James and I are living with my parents as we're building a house. So it's definitely fun. I'm working out of their junk room upstairs. It's a different change, but I'm so grateful that I have a place to stay while our new home is being built. Have you ever had to move and had to wait some time before you got into your new place? I'd love to hear your moving story, especially with a toddler. Breathe in. Release the pose. Place the strap in your right hand and lower your right foot all the way down to your right. Notice if your left hip is beginning to creep up off the mat. It's signaling that maybe you've opened the right leg a little bit too far. So gently push that left butt cheek back into the ground. Turn your gaze to the neutral position and breathe deeply. Flex your toes. Draw your low belly in and up. and focus your attention on the right here and the right now. I hope you enjoy today's kind of chit-chat informal yoga video. Release the strap, extend the right leg long, and shake out your feet. Place a bend in your knees, and then place the strap around the ball of your left foot. Notice it's at the top of the foot, not in the middle, at the top, right under the toes. Flex your leg, and then extend the right leg long. Hug your arms into your side body, and then lift and lower your foot, one breath with one movement. Slow down. I know you're used to chasing around your kids or one kid. This is yoga. No racing through your yoga practice today. Flex your ankle and breathe deeply. Do you ever feel like you're chasing around your little kiddos and you just don't get a moment to breathe? Well, this is your time to breathe. Personally, I always try to squeeze in a 20-minute yoga practice during nap time or before James gets up. Have you tried doing a yoga practice with a awake baby? It doesn't happen. For me, he climbs on me the whole time. There's hair pulling. Place your left arm out in the T position and then come into the IT band stretch. Lower your left leg just over to your right, not to pass your ear, and feel the stretch in your IT band. Yeah, if I'm trying to do a yoga practice with him, he's crawling all over me and pulling my hair, screaming. It's fun, but it's not I don't get in the good stretch that my body needs. Lower your foot all the way down and stack your hips. Notice that they're stacked on one another and feel the stretch. I have found that if I'm in YouTube and I Google like kids dance party, that is the best experience for us. So if you have any tips on those rainy days where you can't get out of the house and your kiddo is bouncing off the walls, let me know. I'd love your tips. Then open up your left foot down and keep your right hip planted into the mat. If you feel that it's coming upward, your body could be signaling that you've opened up just a little bit too far. So just find your edge. Turn your gaze to the opposite direction and feel the stretch as your hips open up. A little bit of shakes are okay. As long as you're not experiencing any pain, that's fine. Now, if you're feeling any pain in your knee joint, back out of it. You've gone a little bit too far. It can be really hard to squeeze in the 20 minutes every day, but I don't know about you. Whenever I've finished my 20-minute stretch, I just feel so good that I made time for myself. Draw your knees into your chest and gently rock from side to side and massage out your low spine. You know, sometimes as moms, it's so hard. Like maybe you don't do this, but you compare yourself to other people and their perfect clean spaces and their perfectly manicured children. And I'm over here working. My husband's in the military, so we're living in two separate states. And look at my parents' playroom. But at the end of the day, I have a happy, healthy baby. Extend your left leg long and grab your yoga blocks if you're using them today and hip hinge forward. Notice that you're not resting on your knee. Come a little bit more forward and then flex the top of your foot and let it rest onto the ground. Draw your low belly in and up, squeeze your shoulder blades together and soften the muscles in your face. So I just want to say that when you're being a mom and you're just doing the best you can, you're running your own race, and even if you just get out of bed and you take care and you feed, clothe, and diaper your child and you love them, Give yourself a pat on the back for that. I try to remind myself that. Take your gaze between your hands. Bend your leg and take your left hand and clasp it on your foot. Take your gaze over your left shoulder. Keep your low belly drawn in and up and breathe deeply. Feel the stretch. Notice that you're not resting on that knee, but keep coming forward. Hip hinge forward a little bit more. Release the foot down. Extend the left leg long. Flex the left ankle. Draw your low belly in and up. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Bring your toes a little bit closer to you. Notice that the top of your back isn't rounding. And breathe deeply. My current routine with James is, so I work all day as an accountant, and then we get off work. I take him for a stroller ride. Then we go to the park. I come home, feed him, or have a snack, whatever you have to listen to their cues. Then we go in my parents' pool, and I put him in his little swimsuit. Okay, walk your left foot over to the left edge of your mat, set up your yoga blocks, and then open and close your left knee a couple of times. Movement before stillness. Next time your knee opens up, pause, and if your body's calling you to rest down closer to the ground, do so at this time. But if you feel a lot of rounding in your upper back, stay up on your hands. Don't, in life, we spend so much time crunched forward on our phones, over the computer, even just at dinner with our family. Try to keep your spine straight during your yoga practice. It's just 20-25 minutes. Breathe deeply. Yeah, so we'll be in the pool, and my objective is, since I work full time, keep it as fun and entertaining the whole evening, because those are the most precious hours for me each and every day. Curl your toes under and sit back onto your heels. Roll your shoulders back a couple of times. Return to hands and knees. Extend the right leg long and step it between your hands. Grab your blocks if you're using them today. Hip hinge forward. Rest the top of your left foot onto the ground and notice that you're a little bit above your knee. You're not just completely resting onto your knee. Come a little bit more forward. Draw your low belly in and up and keep your gaze down. Breathe deeply. Soften the muscles in your face. I had James a little bit older. I was 32. He was my first and only baby at the time of recording this video. Place a bend in your knee. Clasp it with your right hand and take your gaze over your right shoulder. And I had wondered, I had built this life that was full of socializing with my friends, practicing yoga, working out, eating healthy, making my own kombucha, doing juicing at home, cooking, making my own soap, giving it as gifts, attending Bible study groups. So I had wondered, am I going to have time for these hobbies anymore? Flex your right leg long, come onto your blocks, hip hinge forward. But I don't know about you. I can't even imagine how much I get done in between these nap times. Obviously, there's cleaning and cooking. Judging by the space of this room right now, it's not very clean, but I do not waste a minute anymore. I used to spend some time going to the movies or watching Netflix series with my friends. Not anymore. Any ounce of time that he's asleep, I spend working on these projects, and I feel so fulfilled. I get to have my amazing son who I love, and we play and we do all these things together. And then I get this little bit of time that I can still focus on my interests so I don't lose myself. And I am so happy, and I wish that people talked about that a little more, because when I was pregnant with him, I kept hearing, oh, your life is over. All you have is a child, and he's your sole attention, which is true. But I find that there's this little golden nugget of time every single day, and I'm so grateful that I have just a little bit of time to focus on my interests. So if you're here and you're practicing yoga right now in your little golden nugget of time, I want to thank you for spending time with me. Step your foot to the right edge of the mat, open and close your knee, and then come down onto your yoga blocks. You're exactly where you need to be today. Come up onto your hands. Step your right foot back. Move your blocks out of the way. Press your big toes together. Separate your knees to the wide edge of the mat. Sit back onto your heels. Extend the arms forward. Draw your low belly in and up. Rest the forehead onto the ground. Breathe deeply. Breathe in and breathe out. I invite you to come back to the words of your intention that you set at the beginning of today's yoga stretch sequence. For you, a very busy mom, hopefully with a cleaner playroom than mine. Raise your hand if you clean up the whole playroom, your sweetheart comes down and then bam, it's an explosion again. Walk your hands towards the right edge of the mat. Lower your left shoulder blade down. Feel the side body stretch in this wide-legged child's pose. Same thing with feedings. You cook this meal or you pick up something through the drive-thru, just depending on what kind of day it is. And you got a beautifully clean kitchen, and then after meal time, you're like, I have no idea how you manage to walk your hands over to the left edge of the mat, feel the side body stretch. I have no idea how you manage to get this spaghetti 7 feet away, like this little, how do you have the strength to do this? Children continue to amaze me in the best way. I also joke that I used to go to the gym and work out, nothing crazy, like a bar class or Pilates. And now that I have James, I'm like, this is my workout. I am chasing you. Return to the neutral position in the center. Keep the child's pose. I'm like, this is my workout, chasing you around. Raise your hand if you don't sit down again. I mean, I do for work. Again, place your hands in the prayer position and walk your elbows just a little bit forward in the wide-legged child's pose and feel the stretch under your underarms. Breathe deeply. Breathe in and out. Yeah, I'm so grateful to have this baby in my life. Every day is an adventure. When I first had him, even though my husband was in Italy and I was in St. Louis, I woke up every morning feeling like it was Christmas time. Come onto your belly. Place a bend in your elbows and feel the stretch in your upper back. The 3 months of maternity leave just felt like I couldn't believe how fast the days went by. And I never knew that I could get so much done with no sleep. I mean, that was another little tidbit. Place your arms in the goddess position. Turn your gaze towards your left and drag your left knee up towards your left elbow. Breathe deeply. I had James at the beginning of COVID when we really didn't know what COVID was. So I had a few visitors in the first maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And then after that, I was in isolation for months, which was tough. Extend the left leg long, drag your right knee up towards your right elbow. But as a positive, as my body began to heal, I started reading more about yoga, even though I had completed my yoga teacher training. And then I really started making more of these videos. I know they're not the best quality in the world, but I'm making a little bit more effort, and I hope that in the years to come I can improve my filming and editing quality. But I hope you get some value of the content of these yoga classes. I was also grateful that during COVID, both of my parents were retired. So after I had finished my maternity leave, my mom was able to watch him. If you had to send your child to daycare or had to have your kids home during the pandemic, I feel for you. I can't imagine trying to work and get anything done with a new baby. Place a bend in your knees, pick up your right foot and place it just above your left knee. Clasp your hand under your left thigh. Draw your chin down and back. A lot of the ladies I worked with, they had 1 to 2 young kids and they were doing accounting. And, it's really tough when it's hard to get away to even go to the bathroom. You're so busy, and it's an exciting time in accounting. But I can't imagine having kids home trying to get all that work done. So if you had to work with your children home, I hope that you made it through it, and I'd love to hear your story on that too. Pick up your left foot just under your right knee. Clasp your hands behind your right thigh. Breathe deeply. Everybody has a unique story. And this is such an interesting time to be a new mom. Breathe in. Breathe out. Envision your left knee coming away from you. Doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical. Unflex the feet. Firmly press all 4 corners of the feet into one another. Clasp the hands above the head. Turn your head to look left and right a couple of times. Visualize your knees coming a little bit closer to the ground. No pain, just some sensation in your knees. Draw your chin down and back. Lengthen out through the crown of your head. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Think about some reasons why you're happy to be a mother. Focus on that. Come back to those words often. Not just on the mat, but off. You're doing a great job. Draw your knees into one another. Come to a comfortable, seated position. Draw your hands to heart center, and always, always commend yourself for making time for you. Thanks. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'd love to hear from you.